Well, hey there guys, Conceptual Concepts 6.9 here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We'll roll in some B-roll footage. Unfortunately, I'm about a day late on my video this week. Didn't have any pre-recorded content and, well, life hits you sometimes. So I'm filming this on the day I normally release a video. So bear with me and my apologies. Now, today I wanted to go over what I think is the best AK you can get in 2025. And I don't have one, but I have something fairly similar just for reference. So this is a KUSA KP104. So it was a pistol, I SBR'd it, and now it is a rifle. But the KP104 will serve as a good enough reference for the gun I'm going to be talking about today, just because of the barrel length similarities. So the KUSA has a 12.4 inch barrel, I do believe, and the gun I'm going to be talking about has a 12.25 inch barrel, and that gun is the Draco. Insert rap song, you know.
Draco season with the book bag. Rat tag got a little kickback. Hunters on hunters got a good batch. You ain't never ever get your bitch back. You ain't never ever.
Beloved by rappers, all that good stuff, but arguably it's hard to deny this is probably the best AK that you can get on the market right now. That and the Wasser. But I'm going to argue that if you can pick one, I think that the Draco's the better out of the two. So let's get into it. The Draco is made in the Kugir factory, or Kugir, or, you know, I'll probably mispronounce that 1,000 times, but the military factory in Romania. And as such, it has a cold hammer forged chrome lined barrel. It's got a forged bolt and trunnion, all the right parts. It's meant to last, right? And it does all this at a fairly inexpensive cost of about $750 right now. If you search around right now, Palmetto has it for 750 bucks. And I'll insert a picture of that as well. So you end up with a military grade AK for 750 bucks. It's got a 12 inch barrel, and personally, I think 12 inches is really the sweet spot for 7.62 by 39 rifles, because you're only losing about 100 to 150 feet per second out of that barrel. So again, 7.62 by 39 really thrives off of a shorter barrel, and you can get away with running it shorter. This guy here can hit at 400 no problem all day. I'm sure the Draco is very, very similar. Now, why I think the Draco is better is just because of that barrel length versus the Wasser, and you have the dimpled receiver. Now, do you need the dimpled receiver? Not really. The Wasser has those welded like inserts that fit mags fairly tightly regularly. But I think 12.25 inch barrel is really the sweet spot for an AK. So that's why I think this will beat that out. Now let's get into some of the other features. It does use ACAM parts, so you're able to run things like this Barwaris chassis system. You can run the Sure Shot, which I don't recommend personally. You can run the TDI X47 chassis, which I've run extensively and really like. Or if you can find a Zenico stuff. So because it's a less proprietary situation than things like the Zostavas, I think it's a little better option, especially considering you're getting military quality. Now, another thing that sets it apart from even these 100 series guns with their 24 by 1.5 right hand threads is that the Draco comes with a 14 by 1 left hand thread. Benefit to that is you can accept a whole host of different muzzle devices and probably most different suppressors as well, because it's a much thinner thread than the 100 series threads, which are very large, 24 mil versus 14 mil. So I think that's a serious benefit versus the 100 series as well. It just gives you more options and gives you more routes to go. Now, the main downside to this is you have a flat rear trunnion. Actually, the rear trunnion is a underfolder rear trunnion without the cutouts. But it's not crazy expensive. Let's go into some different methods or routes you can go to attach a brace or stock to it. My original Draco, I'll insert a photo here somewhere, but my original Draco, I paid a gunsmith, I think 60 bucks to drill and tap that rear trunnion and install a Picatinny rail on the back. And so I was able to run 1913 braces, and in my case braces, but if I wanted to SBR it and run a stock, I could. So that's the cheapest route. Typically you can get a gunsmith to do that for well under 100 bucks. The next route, which is a little more expensive but not crazy expensive, is JMac makes a rear trunnion for the Draco, and you can install that. It can accept either ACE stock adapters or 1913 stock adapters. It gives you a host of different systems there as well. And lastly, if you really want to get bougie, you can do a 100 series cut with the hardware, and you can get this style of folding stock on there. Now that, I haven't really priced out how much gunsmiths charge for that, but I'm assuming it's a pretty penny. Then the hardware and stock is going to cost a lot as well. So you're probably looking at, if I were to guesstimate, between $200 and $300 to go that route, versus, you know, probably 150 for the JMac and under 100 for just threading and bolting on a Picatinny rail on the back. So those are the routes you could go to get it to accept a brace. Actually, the cheapest is probably one of those little forks that goes under the grip. I personally don't like those. I've seen those rattle loose more than once, and so I don't even mess with it. I think you're better off just drilling and tapping and installing solid hardware that's not clamped on by the grip. But moving on, I just think that it is really where it's at right now. The form, the length, it's very handy, and I just think it's probably your best bet to get a quality AK. Now, in today's market, personally, I would recommend going with a pistol versus SBRing it, just because you are able to travel across state lines with that, and you're not giving the feds 200 bucks. So one of the biggest pains in the butts with this guy here, I really like this gun and I would love for it to be a travel gun, but because it's an SBR, the only time I travel with it is if I'm staying in the state of Idaho. If I want to go over to Montana, I don't bring this with me. I actually bring my CZ Bren 2. So I think going a pistol route is probably your best bet. But again, I think the Draco, as much as it's memed on for the rap songs, etc., I think it's probably your best bet in 2025. You compare it to the WBP, which is a more commercial factory in Poland. You compare it to the Zostava, which is a great gun, but it's also more proprietary and it's heavier. Compare it to just about anything else, I think I think it comes ahead. And I think it's form factor versus the Wasser, which is made in the same factory, same parts for the most part. I just think the form factor beats out the Wasser a little bit. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I'll talk to you next time.